The original back wall of the building was right here. The theater itself was here for many years. Okay. So this wall did not exist, and the seats to the theater came all the way to this point here. Okay. In August of '52, I think it was '53. I can't remember exactly. Bobby was up in the mezzanine. He was watching the travel feature before it was about a military base in Pensacola, Florida, probably Navy base. There was an explosion in the film, something scared him, and so he came down these stairs here. Now remember, because this was the original back wall of the building, there was a water heater over in this part of the building. It exploded with so much force that it injured the people that were sitting on this side of the wall, threw Bobby up against this wall, splitting open his head. He landed at the bottom of the stairs. That's where he was found, subsequently taken to what is now Presbyterian Hospital. I think it was still Presbyterian then. And that's where Bobby died.
About 25 years after the incident, the Kimo Theater was almost torn down due to a decline of attraction in downtown. Fortunately, the city purchased the building from the Albuquerque family. The city then made it into a mixed-use venue for local groups to use. This is when the stories of Bobby the Ghost really started.
Rumor goes that one night the tech staff was here working on the set. They leave a box of donuts. They come back the next day and all the donuts are gone. Oh, well, someone must have eaten the donuts. Well, there was that kid that died here. Yes, that must be it. Bobby Darnell, the ghost, is now the ghost of the Kimo Theater. And that's what has given birth to this whole insane urban myth. There is a story that has not been documented, that cannot be verified, although there was a former staff member here who claimed it happened. It was a performance of A Christmas Carol by the New Mexico Repertory Theater that went very badly because theater people are extraordinarily superstitious. The deal was, well, Bobby's going to curse our show, so we're going to leave a string of donuts on the back wall of the theater. Well, for one performance, the director said, "Get those donuts down. I don't want them in the way." And that performance just went all to hell. Well, no one can really prove that.
Soon after, Bobby's Shrine was created, and performers to this day still leave things such as personal belongings and food in order for their show to go well.
So you've never seen any spirits, so-called spirits?
I was saying bad things about Bobby. I was here on a Sunday afternoon, and the offices of the theater on the second floor, and the door shut, and I got locked in. I could not get out of my office. I literally had to call the locksmith on a Sunday. He came. I threw him my keys down. He came up. He unlocked the door. He opened the door and said, "Well, yeah, the mechanism's shut because it's a 12, 15-year-old door lock." My boss, the guy who hired me, he's since retired from the city, told a story of two guys who were working across the street in what is now Effects, but on the second floor, and they swore they looked across the third floor and they saw the body, they saw a little boy standing in a window. Okay, I'm sure they saw something. I'm just a skeptic.
Technically, I believe in entropy, but who knows? Energy doesn't disappear. From what I have experienced, there are possibilities, but I haven't had any proof personally. But I've heard a lot of stories. I think if you believe it, then it can be true. We can manifest things ourselves, I think, honestly, with the power of thought.
So you never personally experienced anything supernatural?
No, just talk to people after they experienced things. Or they come in here and say, "Have I seen anything?" And I'm like, "Well, no." And then, you always enjoy the little chill or the thought that, oh, maybe. Like we used to have a old projector up top on the second floor. The light up there is motion censored. We've had somebody walk through the lobby and the light go on up there. And of course they're all freaked out because they know nobody else is in there but me, because everybody else is in the office up there and nobody went by the thing. Or let's see, when Roseanne came back and said that her friend, who did not know that she volunteered at the Kimo, who's also a psychic, came to her home to figure out what's going on because they had unexplained water problems at her home. She said, well, there's somebody here named Bobby. And she didn't tell her friend, she just let her friend keep going. She goes, he just thinks he likes you and he's just playing. And she goes, if you want him to leave, just tell him that his mother's here and it's been fun, but he has to go home now. And the problems with her water stopped. Then later she told her friend, well, I volunteered at the Kimo Theater and it said that there's a ghost there named Bobby. And she goes, really? Okay, well, I'd like to maybe walk through the Kimo. So she brought her in and she goes, Bobby's gone. Bobby's not here. He must have followed you home and did whatever he did with your water, but I don't feel him right now here in the Kimo. And she's like, that's interesting, that's scary. And what's really funny is even though Larry's more of a skeptic, he was locked into the offices upstairs, and you don't lock it from the inside, you lock it from the outside. But when somebody came to open the door would just, the guy just opened the door, no problem.
So, do you see things? Like, is there a specific time that you see some weird things going on?
The thing with the projector light was late afternoon, and then the other stuff would be early evening, and then for Roseanne it was just here and there. So there was no specific time when they said that they had these experiences.
Before the name La Posada, this was known as the Staub House. Abraham Staub brought his wife Julia from Germany and built her a beautiful mansion in 1882. The happy couple grew into a family of 6, but they didn't see this coming. They didn't expect their 7th child to die soon after birth. This caused Julia to fall into a deep depression, and some even say that she died of a broken heart. The Staub House is now a hotel, bar, and restaurant where you can spend the night with Julia's spirit.
Okay, so how long have you worked here?
So I've worked here a couple of years, but I also worked here 10 years ago. And this house was built in 1882 or so by Abraham Staub, and him and his wife Julia lived here. I think they had a child together here, and then come their second child, which was a little girl, and Abraham Staub was a horrible philanderer, and what does every horrible philanderer do? Accuse his wife of having an affair too. So that's exactly what happened. He thought their youngest daughter was fathered by the Bishop of Lamy, and he, was sure of it. And so the great-great-granddaughter just has recently written a book called American Ghosts, and in that book it suggests that Abraham and a couple of his buddies took the little girl upstairs and drowned her in the bathtub, and then chained Julie up there for a few days because they were scared she was going to go to the cops, and then ended up killing her. I always thought she kind of died of a broken heart after her daughter died.
Yeah, that's what the legend says.
Yeah, but now this book is making me think maybe something more sinister, was happening. So, so now I'm not sure how it actually went down, but she's definitely seen here at Staub House. My old boss Tammy Carter worked here 17 years. Saw her twice, once right across the hall in the library at 6 in the morning. She went in there to turn some lights on, and she saw her standing in front of the fireplace. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just going to turn these lights on." She's looking at her, she turns the lights on, looks back, and she is gone. She just, when she tells the story, so the people that tell me stories about Julia, if you were to hear them tell the stories, you'd believe them too, Anyway, we feel like she'll come in and crank the stereo up sometimes, or you'll set a glass down right here. It's in a solid spot, and you'll turn around and it'll fall off. Just little things like that. But I've never had an encounter with her, but a bunch of guests have, and so we know she's still around.
So you'd say that you definitely believe in the legend?
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah. I'm just not sure how she passed away.
Okay.
Did she die of a broken heart, like I kind of thought for years and years, or did Abraham have something to do with her death? So the plot is thickening, you know what I mean?
Definitely, because it also goes into like the belief of why do spirits linger.
I know. Why do you think they linger?
Honestly, I have no idea. I feel like I am a skeptic, but not really. Like, I don't know if I really believe in it completely myself.
Yeah. I'm not sure either. And I'm one of those people that, you know, once I see something, then I'm a believer, but I've never seen anything, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
You yourself. But so you haven't seen any glasses fall over or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's always just that whole thing where you convince yourself that maybe it's just in your mind or you
I
just
know.
missed something.
I know, but I've never had an encounter with her, like,
Herself.
yeah.
So what do you think the legend has, like, what kind of effect do you think the legend has on the business itself?
Oh, I think it's an attraction. You know, first off, this is such a unique property that just with so much history, and you can feel the history when you walk through the door. And so I think it's definitely an attraction. And it's intriguing. I mean, you can stay in her room if you want to, you know.
Do you guys offer any type of tours or anything that you can talk to?
No, we don't, but there are ghost tours here in Santa Fe, and they come through here all the time.
Awesome.
Oh,
This is
okay.
part of a ghost tour.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Left La Posada Hotel. What was your experience?
The moment I stepped in the hotel, I knew that something was dreadfully wrong. Just right when I walked in, a swarm of sadness and despair flooded me, and I knew immediately that the legend was real.
Have you yourself ever experienced anything supernatural?
From all that I've experienced, I would say no, but after coming here, I definitely think that there is some type of haunting or bad energy or whatever you want to call it, but I'm a believer now.
We actually caught some orbs, the white one meaning that the spirit feels trapped, and the orange one meaning safety and security.